First of all, you know Kanye.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was going to be a star. I didn't know him till he did the show. And then my friend was telling me, you got to book this guy, Kanye. I said, okay, I booked the guy. And it was the day that Jay-Z's Black album came out. And it was me and Common and Kweli and Kanye, this guy that nobody knew. And you know, the record starts and Jay-Z says on one record, Kanye stood up. First time he spoke all day, he goes, stop the record. And rewind that. You're like, what? We're like, who is this guy? We're always like, what?
No one knows who this guy. Like, what?
I didn't know who he was. Everyone else was like, they're laughing, like, you know, they know. I didn't know. And then afterwards, we go to the edit, and this is when everyone knew Kanye was going to be a star. And we were watching sketches. We were like, yeah, we could watch some sketches. No one's ever seen these before. We show him like the Rick James sketch and all these great sketches. And in the middle of it, Kanye's phone rings, and he's like, hello? He goes, no, I can't. No, because I'm at the edit for the Dave Chappelle show, watching sketches that no one's seen before. And then it goes like this, because my life is dope, and I do dope, and he hung up the phone.
One of your buddies is Kanye West. Is that true? Good? Is that good?
I do stand-up, and the last big show I did in Los Angeles, he came to the show, and, you know, he exchanged information with me, and, you know, he was like, oh, we should hang out sometime. And I was like, yes, that would be probably a very entertaining evening. So one night he calls me up, he's like, hey, come down to this nightclub. And so I grabbed my friend Jason, who's another guy that looks like he does not belong in a hip-hop nightclub. And we head there. And we go in, and, like, you know, he's sitting there at a table with, like, Jay-Z and, like, all these models. Yeah, and, like, we just don't belong. Like, if you had a photo of that table, you'd be like, who photoshopped those two little chubby guys in the corner? They don't belong there. No. We're hanging out at this club, and the club's starting to close down, and Kanye's like, hey, you know, we're going to have some people over at the house. You should come down. And I was like, all right, that'll be even crazier than this is. So I will go. And I'm one of the first people to get there, and I walk into his house, and I hear 808s and Heartbreak playing, which is his album. And I walk in, and he's just sitting in his living room, just like bobbing his head, like, bum, bum, bum. And I was like, hey, Kanye, are you sitting in your own house, bobbing your own head to your own music? And he goes, yeah, these beats are dope.
Well, good for him, by God.
And I was like, well, you know what that'd be like if you came over to my house and I had my stand-up album on. I was like, ha ha ha, these jokes are dope.
Kanye West and Kanye West buying a used car.
You know, that car ain't, nah, because I don't like how it look, and you know, listen, this ain't even a, hold on, fam, because look, this is the real. What we not gonna do is, you know, you ain't gonna put me in no full focus. That's not gonna happen, fam. And also, fam,
I love Kanye West.
I love Kanye West as well.
He's the best.
You might have...
We don't love him as much as Kanye West loves Kanye
We'll never
West.
get there. We'll never get there. You had, though, a Kanye West story.
So I made a video mocking him horribly with my friend James Franco.
To the Bound video?
To the Bound video. And I do this a lot where I, like, do really mean things to other celebrities, never thinking I'm going to see them one day and have to deal with it. So that happened with Kanye West. I made fun of him in a video, and I'm a big fan of his, though, so it's weird. And then I was in the lobby of a hotel with my wife, and I heard, yo, and I turn around, and it's Kanye, which scared me at first, because I was like, this is it.
You
like,
remembered right away you'd made fun of him.
Oh, instantly, because I'm a coward. And I just went right to, like, the last thing I see is, like, a $10,000 sneaker hitting me in the face, and then I'm going to be dead. And so I said, I apologize profusely, come out of the gate apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm a fan. It was out of love, all that stuff. And he said, you're a fan. That's all he heard, which was good. And I said, yeah. And he said, I'm working on a new album, and if you want, I'll play it for you. And I was like, great. And he's like, I have a van out front, which is a weird thing. And me and my wife were like, I guess we're doing this. And so we went in his van, and he didn't have the lyrics recorded, just beats. And he went through an entire album, like 17 tracks, playing the beats on a laptop, and then rapping the song like full, like this close to my face, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where to look. I remember it was like, it's like being at a strip club. You're like, where do I look? Like, do I look in his eyes? Like, is that creepy or weird? Like, do I just kind of like bob? I kind of like, I mean, like, me and my wife looked at each other. We're like, well, just bob. Like, this is, I think this feels appropriate. Yeah, and we were in there for like 2.5 hours.
Oh my God.
As he rapped me his entire new album, which hasn't come out yet, but I can tell you, it's dope.
I met Kanye the first time because I throw parties. I throw contrast parties. So I had this party. It was Puff. It was Jay-Z. It was all these people. And then this kid walks in, right? With his jaw was a little swollen, and he had a backpack on. I said, who's that? They said, that's Kanye. That's the new dude. I said, really? I said, well, what do he do? He said, he raps. So I said, yo, man, anybody come to my house, they got to get down. So he started rapping, blew my head off. He was so incredible. He said, and then he said, I have a song that I think that you will be good on if we could go in the studio. I said, I happen to have one in the back. And I go in the back in the studio of my crib. He said, the song go, she said she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross. I said, I got it. She said she wants some Marvin Gaye. He said, what you doing? I said, I got to put the R&B on it, young fella. You don't know what this is. It's R&B. He said, don't do that.
Kanye was just going, I think he was just about to get his first Grammy. And I remember we were in this, I think it was at USC, and we were talking to all these kids, and people couldn't really figure Kanye out at the time, because he was just like this weird dude that nobody knew that wore funny clothes. He said something that was so genius and so brilliant that it stuck with me, but everybody in that room got him and what he was all about from that day. He was like, yo, you ever be at like Applebee's, right, fam? You be at Applebee's and there's somebody over there making mad noise and you try to tell them to calm down and they be like, no, it's my birthday. He's like, it's my birthday, so I'm gonna make noise cause it's my birthday. And he's like, I'm living every day like it's my birthday, fam. It's my birthday. And everybody was like that slow clap. And everybody's going crazy. And if you ever really want to figure out Kanye, that's Kanye the next show.
Day, I got a phone call out of nowhere, and the voice sounded familiar, but I wasn't sure it was. And I was like, hello? And he's like, hey, is Danny there? I'm like, this is him. He's like, this is Kanye West. I was like, oh, is it really? I thought it was a joke. And he basically said that he was a fan of mine and wanted to come hang out.
Well, how did he get your phone number?
I guess Kanye has his ways, I guess. I don't know. I have no clue.
He wanted to come hang out?
He wanted to come hang out. I think he thought I lived in Los Angeles.
Oh.
And so, and then I was like, no, I live in Charleston. And he was quiet for a minute. He's like, okay, I can go there too. And I'm getting nervous about like, well, what does Kanye like to do? Like, what should I wear when Kanye gets here? So I'm always worried about what I'm wearing.
He's just coming to see you?
Yeah, he had an idea for a project that I think was a pretty brilliant idea.
What can you say what the idea was?
He wanted to do a movie about the story of his life, and he wanted me to play him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. So I thought it was a cool enough idea to be like, yeah, I would love to hang out and talk about it. So he came down there and...
He came to your house?
Yeah, we hung out. We went out in a boat. We just talked. He was awesome. It was the most incredible afternoon. And then when we were done hanging out and talking about the movie, we came back into my house, and my son is 7 years old, and he was just standing there waiting for us. And he's like, Papa, do you think Kanye West wants to watch me play Fortnite? And I was like, I mean, do you want to watch him play Fortnite? And he was like, yeah. And then we just sat there and watched my son play Fortnite.
This fella named Kanye West stopped by the #1 place for hip-hop, Ellen. And for almost 8 minutes, Kanye held forth on every subject, from Kanye to West.
You tweeted out that you wanted Mark Zuckerberg to give you $53 million. In hindsight, should that have gone on Facebook?
Yes.
Yes.
I should have put it on Facebook. Now I understand why he didn't hit me back. I feel that if I had more resources, I could help more people. I have ideas that can make the human race existence within our 100 years better. I called the head of Payless. I'm like, I want to work with you. I'm sorry, daytime television. I'm sorry for the realness.
No apologies necessary. No apologies. Now, a lot of people, after seeing that, are saying that Kanye engaged in a rambling, incoherent word dump. I disagree. But I understand Kanye, because we're a lot alike. I feel like if Mark Zuckerberg gave me $53 million, I could buy more shoes. I got some Rockports at Payless. They're ugly, but they're great for slipping on in the morning to get the paper. I have ideas that can make human existence better. Period. End of sentence. Punctuation. Semicolon. Ellipses. Parenthesis. I want to make better hot dog buns. People say that's crazy when I talk to them at a party about hot dog buns, but when I was in 2nd grade, I ate hot dogs. I called Oscar Mayer. I'm like, we gotta make longer buns that match the length of the hot dogs, all right? I wanna take everything. I wanna take everything.
Does he think
People
that different,
balance,
bro?
Yes.
How different,
Yes.
bro?
Different.
How? Like,
different.
You tell me, convince me, because the music is phenomenal. Outside of that...
Okay, it's real simple.
Yeah.
Have you ever been locked up in a mental institution?
No.
He has.
Yeah.
They don't just lock you up, bro. They never locked me up.
Yeah.
You know, my wife I never came home. My wife has some fucking 2 gorillas that are in those lab suits that are staring at me. I'm like, what's with the big guys? Oh, these big guys are going to take you to a nice hospital. Like, sir, we'd like to handle this quietly. What?
Yeah.
The fuck? I'm not going to some hospital. You know, like
Bust out the leg kicks, Joe.
You don't just go to the mental institute, bro. They Velcro you.
But the mental institution doesn't mean that you're genius. There's a lot of crazy people who are just crazy.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely crazy.
Sure,
but he's also, but he's brilliant too. See, the work that comes out of that crazy is genius work, right? So what is it about him that allows him to be so prolific as an artist? You ever notice how prolific he is?
Yes.
The guy's constantly
At music.
constantly banging out songs. He doesn't have bad albums.
No, he is phenomenal at music, without a doubt. Phenomenal at music.
But this is all from this energy that's inside of him. He figures out how to channel that energy and put it in good ways. But occasionally, like, it's also not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that when Kanye was on stage, I think it was in San Jose, and he said that he didn't vote, but if he was going to vote, he would have voted for Trump, and the crowd went crazy, and they booed the shit out of him, and then he canceled his tour, and then he went to the Mental Health Institute.
Right.
All that shit happened together because he felt the pain of this. Then his response to that was to double down. His response to that was to attribute qualities to Trump that he doesn't even really have.
Right.
And so Trump, in a lot of ways, very wise the way he handles things socially. He let Kanye come into the White House, wear that MAGA hat, and just rant up a storm. Kanye could define who Trump was. He could define what loving Trump meant.
Sure.
He could define why black people should embrace Trump.
Right.
He could define all this in his head to sort of justify what went wrong with him.
Right.
And then Trump just sits there and goes like this and lets him talk. And then he leaves, and Trump goes, "What the fuck was that?"